Welcome to Thieves' Cant, a tabletop gaming podcast with your hosts, Jeremy Shane and Chris White.
Welcome in and welcome back. Monday, December 15th. It is Thieves' Cant. I'm Jeremy Shane.
And I'm Chris White.
Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing at Thieves' Cant Cast. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you like to listen. And remember, you can email thievescantcast@gmail.com. Chris, today we've got a real banger.
We do.
And today we're going to talk 5 ways to bring the party together.
Togetherness.
Unity.
That's the secret word of the day.
We say that we have to scream.
Scream real loud.
Yeah. So that's our main discussion we'll get to. We've got a crowdfunding spotlight that we'll take a look at as well. But first, some headlines. Let's jump into the news. Steve Jackson Games has announced they are updating Toon, the cartoon role-playing game. Toon is getting a second edition.
Oh, nice.
The original was released in 1984. And they're going to stay true to its spirit, but they are providing some new simplified character designs for faster play, more than a dozen customizable cartoon adventures included, silly tables, and classic slapstick chaos, and full-color cartoon art from the original illustrator, Kyle Miller. I think that's especially cool that the original illustrator's coming back. So it's still going to look like the original.
Yeah, that is really cool.
With a new coat of paint.
Yeah.
I think back on my childhood, Saturday morning cartoons were magical.
Oh, yeah.
And to have the opportunity to simulate that at the game table, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it does.
Cartoon violence. Nobody ever really dies. I think in this game, they just call it falling down. You fall down for a little bit, but then you're back up.
Yeah.
So they can drop an anvil on you, and you might fall down, but you're not down and out.
Yeah. Yeah, you're in that hole that's in the perfect shape of your silhouette crawling out.
Right. So I think it tends to focus on the more like slapstick style cartoons. But if you could role play any cartoon, would you have a preference? Did you have favorites back in the day?
Yeah, I was kind of a Thundar the Barbarian guy.
Oh, yeah. It's like sci-fi fantasy, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like Oog the Mock or something, whatever his Chewbacca friend was.
Right.
Like, he was cool.
Right.
Yeah, that, and obviously like Thundercats, Masters of the Universe.
Oh, yeah. That was our era. I think those games would run really well in like Savage Worlds.
Yeah, that would be kind of interesting, wouldn't it?
I could definitely see, certainly a Thundar the Barbarian.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that slots right into Savage Worlds.
Yeah.
A little pulpy. At any rate, Toon 2nd Edition is on its way. The Backerkit campaign launches on Wednesday, the 17th, just around the corner.
It is.
Speaking of Backerkit crowdfunders, that Draw Steel, Crack the Sun campaign, holy cow. It is well on its way. It had an initial goal of $1,250,000, which is clearly a lofty goal.
Yeah,
right.
No doubt.
But they have well exceeded that as the campaign continues. Again, for Crack the Sun, the Mega Adventure, the Draw Steel Encounters core rulebook, new ancestries, a new class, more adventures. There's quite a bit of content packed into this campaign. So still time to get in if you'd like to. And MCDM clearly needs your help.
They're starving.
Right.
Yeah, people seem to like the Draw Steel. It's a little popular.
Yeah.
So that's good.
All right. So it looks like the product line is healthy and will continue into the foreseeable future. So that's good news if you're a Draw Steel fan. Let's take a look at another project in our official crowdfunding spotlight. This one is Breath of Life, the Warmage from Orphaned Bookworm Productions. Chris, this project is bringing a brand new Warmage class to Pathfinder 1st edition.
Really?
I saw that and I knew we had to spotlight this.
Interesting.
Because I am a proponent of not simply Pathfinder First Edition, but anytime anyone says, hold up, I know we've got all of these current options, but there's a game system that we still use and love.
Yeah.
Why not continue to support that? So in this case, it is for the first edition of Pathfinder. Why not?
Yeah.
If you're a fan of that game,
Yeah, I like that.
this is cool. It's designed as a full 1 through 20 level progression, so it's not just like an archetype or some variant of a different class. The concept blends martial combat and arcane power. It's a frontline spellcaster who fights in the thick of battle, which is kind of cool. Obviously, then there's an emphasis on tactical casting, magic that might enhance your weapons, your armor. You're more of a battlefield presence rather than like just on the back line providing support.
It's gishy.
Yeah.
Gishy.
Yeah, right?
We all like that.
I think this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't know enough about the Pathfinder community to know, like, maybe how big is Pathfinder 1?
What is the demand for that? Because I know you have the Pathfinder 2 core rule book.
Yeah.
So you are more familiar with it than I am, but it's a pretty significant departure from first edition, correct?
Right. I think with Pathfinder 1, I mean, it was sort of the direct predecessor of like a D&D 3.5.
Right.
So maybe, I mean, I'm curious as to how big that community is. Maybe a lot of people are holding on to that edition rather than the updated rule set. So.
Well, I am, anytime that we can support the games that are currently in our library, you know,
Yeah.
I'm all in on that. So this will fund for another 15 days. You'll find it on Kickstarter. We've got a link in the show notes. All right, one more stop in today's show. A little back booth banter. We're talking 5 ways to bring the party together, to unite the PCs. Chris, this topic is inspired by an article I read on Bell of Lost Souls from J.R. Zambrano, 5 ways to start your next adventure. So this is kind of in that spirit.
It's a challenge for a lot of DMs.
It is.
Yeah.
Right? You know, get everybody on the same page, pointed in the same direction. This is probably great session 0 material.
Yeah.
It's a great topic for that first gathering of all the players.
This might even be pre-session 0.
Right. If it is session 0, I would say maybe it's the very first thing you do. It's certainly before anybody has made a character or maybe even conceptualized a character.
Yeah.
The goal here is to keep these fairly general, more general in the sense that we want them to apply to any game, any genre.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So we'll start with, and this is the tried and true, it's the classic, it's the cliche. You start in a tavern.
Oh, yeah.
Oftentimes, this is ridiculed because it's the old way of doing things. So many classic adventures and stories begin in the tavern. And that doesn't necessarily answer the question of, well, why would these party members care to be together?
Yeah, there's not much there to hang your hat on. If you have cooperative PCs, or, well, cooperative players, really, you know, sometimes they'll make it work, but you've got to give them a reason to why am I hanging out with this person? Why am I going to go off with this person now? You know, it's so this actually puts a lot on the players, I think, unless the DMs really got their stuff together.
Maybe this is a question that the GM can pose to the players. Why are you in this tavern?
Yeah.
Do you know someone here? Do you know the bartender? Who is the bartender? Are you planning to meet someone here? Are you staying here? Is the tavern attached to an inn?
With a lot of these, there'll be an encounter. Dragon heist. Remember, you were in the bar, and there was this troll and some sturges that crawled up out of the hole or something. Right.
Spoilers for this now 7-year-old adventure.
Yeah. That happens. It's sort of one of those things where it's like, I see you also enjoy killing monsters and we have much in common. We should adventure together. You know, I mean,
Yes.
and there's a little more hook than that, obviously, but that does seem to be the theme of it. So I think the Tavern, unless the DM's putting in a lot of work, if that's all you've got, it's kind of hard. You can find yourself in a bad situation.
Yeah. So how can you put a twist on the classic trope? I want to say we've called this out on the show before, but it's been some time. Ian World's War of the Burning Sky. Now, we ran a little of this. I ran this for you and a group. And the setup is you meet in a tavern. But the twist is it's this clandestine meeting late at night, after hours, and the city is under siege.
Right.
And so
the problem's not the tavern. It's what's happening in the tavern.
Sure.
You know, if it's just business as usual, people drinking, sitting around, you know, if there's nothing to hook them in.
Right. There can be great role play opportunities there if you've got a party that's willing to engage with NPCs on that level to establish some storylines earlier, to find out who the movers and shakers are, to pick up some rumors, and then hopefully, you know, unite as a party. Yeah. Moving on, you meet in a cavern.
Shall we meet in a tavern? Shall we meet in a cavern?
Right. This could really be a cavern or any wilderness location, right? Explain, and this is what I would ask as a GM. This is what I would want from the players in that session 0. You know, explain why your character is crawling around in this cave system or wherever it is out in the wild, out in this forest. You know, why are you there? Are you lost? You know, are you in search of an item, of a thing? Are you in search of a person? You know, why are you there? And this is where you're all going to end up.
And you hit on it right there. To me, that's why I like this one better, just as it is, as a base, because you have to ask that question immediately. Why are you there? You know, if I don't know you and we're sitting in the Applebee's and we're each enjoying our half-price appetizers at separate tables because we don't know each other, what is my motivation to go and talk to you? What is my motivation to get to know you? In this situation, that is all there is, right? Who are you? Hark, who goeth there, right? I mean, we're alone. Engagement has to take place. I have always really liked this one as a way to introduce a character. Show them, hey, you see this mysterious stranger, and next to him there's the body of 2 goblins. Okay, they can do something. You know, they're here with purpose.
Well, so let me ask you, whenever we are asking players that why question, why are you here? Is this something that you would take more of a secretive approach to? Like, hey, write that down. Write your reason for being here down and give that to me. And once you've got all the players' answers, you look at them and you say, okay, where are the common threads? How can I let these things collide? Or would you want that to all be out up front and let the players build those connections together? I see the merits
either
of both.
way, there has to be communication, because I think what you don't want, and I see this happen a lot, is why are you here? And then the player turns to the DM and says, why am I here?
You tell me.
You tell me, because I don't know.
That was your job.
Just stuck me here. Right? So, you know, that's not really a situation. So I agree. Like, this is something that should be worked out beforehand. Like, hey, you said your ranger hates magical beast. Like, let's start you off. We're going to be in the woods. Because I really think a lot of these initial encounters, it's cooperative, right? I mean, it's not the DM telling you everything that happens. It's you working with the DM to build this hopefully strong, cohesive party, but at least this group that makes sense going together. And the characters are generally going to write their own backstories, working with the DM. This is the same idea. Like, this initial situation where we meet, it might just be something as simple as saying, hey, I'm going to have you in the woods hunting a magical or fey creature or something. You cool with that? Like, because that's where you're going to be. So, now the player's not completely empty-handed.
Right.
When another character approaches and says, why are you here? You're like, well, I'm hunting the dark unicorn of maybe that's what my note says or whatever. The role play is just going to come out of that. I've been tracking the creature for weeks now.
Yeah.
Why are you here? It's like, following the foul wizard that came this way, and his group of bandits. So you have to work together. I mean, obviously with any of these, but some lend themselves to it a little more than others.
Moving on, number 3, you are summoned. Each party member is summoned, by letter, by raven maybe, by edict, maybe through a dream or a vision, maybe just randomly teleported.
Yeah, I hate this. When the wizards call me in this way and I've got to figure out how to break that circle of silver dust. Oh, it's such an annoyance.
Have you ever been in a campaign that began in such a way?
Well, yeah. And this one, even more so than the, hey, who are you in the woods? Like, usually this is going to come with some sort of command, an order. You're on a mission, whatever it is. And so there's a lot of logic as to why you're thrust together at this point, because there's a greater cause that whether you're all in the same organization, so, hey, the church has said you have to come together. We got to do this holy quest,
Right. Yeah. The church, the government agency,
the military. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
So in this scenario, you don't even have to, the characters don't have to know each other. They have the common purpose just handed to them.
Right. They are all assets in some way.
Right. That's one of those where we can get to know each other later. Maybe we're all professionals, or we all have a certain skill set that's necessary for this mission.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah. If you're running a thieves campaign.
Right.
Right. Yeah. You've all been selected for this job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. This could be cool. Number 4, you are comrades. Characters are part of the same, potentially thieves guild or city watch or theater troupe or household, right? They may even be family. Something binds them from the jump. And this, I think whenever we talk about a session 0, making characters together, I think this is probably the camp that most people end up in. It's like, all right, well, what are our connections? How do we already know each other? This is the category out of the 5 that we're introducing that would suggest you know each other.
I know recently I sent you a video clip from Game of Thrones. It was Eddard Stark at the tournament.
Right.
And I can't remember it was different characters he would interact with, with Robert or whoever it was. When he was interacting with them, it was obvious that all these characters had history. And so suddenly this minor event, this tournament, like there's so much world building that's happening right there. They're talking about, I'm glad I didn't meet you at the battle of such and such. And yes, well, if I recall, you were quite a fighter. I heard what you did, with blah, 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 and all this. And so all of this rich history comes together. And this is something that I think you lose when it's like, you're all in a tavern. What do you do? Right. Because it's like, no, what if we fought together? The perfect example to me, and this gets away from the fantasy element a little bit, is Firefly.
Yeah.
Because if you remember the opening of Firefly, it's was it brown shirts? Is that what they were called? Is that
or the brown coats?
Brown coats. Yeah. Okay. That's something completely different. The brown coats, right? And like them losing, right?
Yeah.
Their war. And then you instantly have like Mal and Zoe have that bond because of this. And if you think about it, really the whole crew is based off that initial bond that those two have. And they have those war stories that go back and those scars that are left from that bring them together.
Yeah.
And so I think this is, and again, this is something the players have got to be a part of. But how cool is it if you can already have that history written in?
Yeah.
And so it's not just individual backstories, but it's, we fought together, and now we're still traveling together. It's a bond.
Yeah, that shared history is everything in a situation like this. You brought up Game of Thrones, so the Song of Ice and Fire RPG from Green Ronin, the first thing you do in that game prior to making characters is all the players create the house. You create the household.
Right.
Right. And once you've established that, like, where's the house located? With whom are they allied? Those sorts of questions. Then each player has to answer the question of, okay, who am I in this house? Am I the lord of this house? Am I the eldest daughter of this house? Am I am I a servant in this house?
Right.
Like maybe I'm the master of arms.
Yeah.
Or
the Meister.
Or exactly.
Yeah.
And what's my function within the house? So again, a great way and a system specifically designed to, group the party under the same banner.
I think this is great. They have history together. They have a common cause.
Okay, last one in our 5 ways to bring the party together. Number 5, the opposite of being comrades. You are adversaries.
Yeah.
You start as rivals, and then the real problem shows up, right? Rivals chasing the same prize, maybe competing for a bounty, hunting the same monster, until there's a circumstance, whatever it might be, that forces cooperation.
This is by far the hardest, because in all the others, you're sort of looking for common ground. You're looking for the bonds that tie us together. And in this one, you've got to establish the things that separate us.
Right.
There's instant conflict baked into that relationship. However,
it's where the best stories come from, is conflict.
It is, and it means you got to do the same work that you did for comrades, right? You've got to establish that common history. You've got to establish all those things that involved the two of you. But yeah, and you've got to establish what is bringing them together. So again, a lot of this is on the players. The DM needs a good setup. This is all front end heavy work. But, then it's up to the players to make that work, assuming the DM comes up with a convincing reason.
Sure.
And it may be survival. It may be, you think about a situation where maybe you're opposing adventuring parties, and suddenly you find yourselves desperate in the dark, and if you don't work together, you're all dead.
Right. You have to rely on one another.
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah, it's a different dynamic. I mean, if they want to, they can take a scenario like this and really turn it into a bust. If they're like, well, I'm going to harbor my old hatreds, then.
Right.
So there's a lot of give and take here. I think you have to be mature role players. I think if done properly, it could be great.
What about you? What is a can't miss, guaranteed to work way to bring the party together? Give us a banger.
We're always looking for the bangers.
Right. Email thievescantcast@gmail.com or drop a note in the comments to let us know what you think. Just a reminder, you can also drop a comment or an email to let us know your preference on our next Thieves Can't Capers game of choice. One more week until we make the announcement. Is it going to be Call of Cthulhu, 1,000-Year-Old Vampire, Night's Black Agents, or Mutant Year Zero? If you want to hear our rationale for those 4 choices, go back to the previous episode, give it a listen. We break it all down. We want to know your opinion. What do you want to hear us deep dive into?
We have a dwarf locked in his cell, already counting the votes. So please submit them, lest he suffer a terrible fate.
Oh, my. And, of course, one more reminder, beginning on January 5th, hey, new episodes of Thieves Can't are coming Monday through Friday with, of course, a special Saturday Capers show whenever Capers is in season. So big things coming in just a very short time. Remember to follow and subscribe at Thieves Can't Cast. And if you're enjoying the show, please consider giving us that 5-star review. Helps out the show so much. Thank you for listening. Have a great week. Chris, you have a great week.
Hey, you too. It's going to be a good one. We're going to make it a good one.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? We are manifesting a good week.
That's right.
All right. We'll catch you next week on Thieves Can't. I'm Jeremy Shane.
And I'm Chris White.
So long.
Thank you for listening to Thieves Can't. Email thievescantcast@gmail.com.